So here we are, Jean Paul Lespagnard.
Hello.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
So what have you been up to in the meantime?
I'm coming back from Mexico. I spent like 5 months there.
Where in Mexico?
In Mexico City. I did different projects. I did costumes for Damien Jallet on Phylos that we already did in 2018. Then I did a presentation of my collection in a store for like 2 weeks. And then I worked on the production of a show that I will present mid-March here in Paris.
And what is that show you're going to present mid-March?
I'm doing the costumes for Le Sceau. It's a show that Hermès is putting every year.
And it's going to be at the Grand Palais Éphémère.
It's at Grand Palais Éphémère. Yeah. It's
Invitation only.
yeah.
And what's your idea for your life in fashion? And how did you get into costume design? Something you didn't really seek.
Yeah, but like costume design, I always have been like super interested in working in live performances. I never considered myself as a costume designer, but this is like a process that I really like. Actually, I really like working with choreographer and developing ideas and doing like proposals about costumes that brings choreography. So it's something that I really integrated in my work quite early, because I started like working in costume design in 2005. So now it's almost 20 years. Yeah.
So how did you meet Damien Jallet?
Well, it was the Brussels connection in the very beginning, but we started like working together quite a while ago, and I think that now we did like 7 projects together. And obviously the Omphalos project in Mexico was the biggest one.
How many people were able to see it?
Oh my God. Because we presented it in Mexico at Bellas Artes, and then we presented it like in Guadalajara, and then it traveled to Europe. So it has been like an ongoing presentation. It's still running actually.
And how do you approach costumes differently than your own fashion collections?
Well, actually, I don't really. I mean, there's like few stuff that I approach differently, because something that interests me when I'm doing the costume for performances is just that I can use materials that you will not wear in your daily life, and that brings another type of movement. So that's something actually that inspire me when I'm like developing my costumes for the performances, but then I can reintegrate it in my fashion. So it's a whole mix. It's really a whole mix.
What kind of textiles?
It can be vinyl, leather, like super stiff, super strong, that brings volumes and shapes, or it can be like a specific technique with snaps. I mean, I love snaps. I always loved snaps, even in my fashion collection. But like creating like system of snaps that transform the clothes while the performance is evolving. So it's like, it's Actually, the fashion and the interior design and the costumes that I'm doing, it's like a whole mix. And sometimes I'm working on something for my fashion, and few years after I reuse it in my costume design. Sometimes in my costume design I did something like 15 years ago, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I remember this, and I re-add it in my fashion collection. So it's like it's a creative process, an evolution, a transformation. That's how I see it.
And you say like now the way you do things is you put together groups, you put teams up, you travel, you show to different communities than usual, so you don't have the stress of like fitting into schedules? I mean, you make your own schedule.
Exactly, I make my own schedule, and it's kind of an organic schedule as well because I mean, I decided to stop presenting during Paris Fashion Week in 2017, and then I started like working on my store project Extraordinaire that I closed in January last year. But I always wanted to showcase what I'm producing around the world to the world. So in a way, the thing that is very important for me is to showcase what I'm producing in India. Like if I present my production in India, I'm presenting what I'm producing in India, but in Europe and in Mexico as well to the Indian community. But then when I'm in Mexico, I do the same, and in Europe I do the same. So it's really about like showing this worldwide, still very social and very small scale, to different community. I mean, I think I'm very interested in this idea of the evolution of craft, and craft evolves through community that meets for like commercial reason or else. And yeah, this is like something that I would like to showcase to many different people.
You're based in Brussels.
I like to say that I have three houses. I see myself like when I'm in Mexico, when I'm in India, and when I'm in Belgium. These are my three houses. Yeah, like even
That's
though
nice.
it's,
Life
but that's
great.
how I feel. And actually, my house is my body, and I'm just like traveling with it. So I never feel. I'm never missing home, in a way.
Well,
I miss places.
You're a citizen of the world, as they say. Comfortable wherever you are.
Exactly.
When did we meet? We met at Festival VR. What year was that?
We met in 2008. Yeah.
2008.
Yeah. A while
15
ago.
years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you look great.
Thank you.
So, right now you have to finish up your Hermes project.
Yeah, I'm finishing the Hermes project, and I'm like, I'm preparing what's going to happen for the summer.
What's that?
I mean, when I closed the store in January last year, I started like really working on this nomadic project. So I started like presenting my production, my collection, which is clothing, accessories, and objects. I did like a very small pop-up in Hydra in Greece in July, and then I presented it in Istanbul, but on a very small scale. And then I presented it in Mexico. I presented it in Brussels in September, and in Mexico in October. And this is like my goal. It's really like to travel with my pieces and to showcase it to the.
That's ideal, no?
I kind of like this idea because I'm meeting like so many different people, and it's like building a worldwide community, but like on a very human
I think it's beautiful.
scale. So that's something that really interests me.
And if somebody wants to contact you, how do they get in touch?
They can go on my website.
Can you spell it out?
It's jeanpaullespagnard.com. So it's my name. And the email is info@jeanpaullespagnard.com. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, JP.
Pleasure.